Now, in a contract situation, this is true of any type of contract you can imagine. Somebody is giving up something to get something. That's the basic definition of what a contract is. So when I enter into a contract with Rob, I want to buy Rob's knapsack, book bag, okay? What do? We go through some preliminary negotiations. I don't just walk up to Rob and say, okay, let me have your book bag, here's $100, right? We go through some preliminary stages to see, first of all, if Rob is interested in even engaging in a transaction. Maybe he's not. So what we have, first of all, in order to create a contract, is we have to have an offer. An offer is one person's indication that I'm willing to enter into a contract. Now, just by making an offer, it doesn't necessarily mean anything is going to happen, okay? In fact, let's do it right now. It's feeling wild. I'm feeling crazy right now. Here's $1. I'll buy that book bag. $1. I'm telling you. Look at it. There it is right there. And I'll do it. See? You want to send me that book bag for $1? Okay. I've just made an offer. What has Rob done? Rob has rejected that offer, which makes a lot of sense because it's a silly offer. Attracting nuisance. Are the parents and the children partly responsible? No, they're not. You might think morally, yeah, they probably are. Ethically, they probably are. Legally, no, they're not. So if you know they're not watching the kids properly, and the kids go over and drown in the pool, no, the parents are not going to be responsible for that. And the reason for that is because the law says if you've got something that's going to attract children and put them in peril, it's your problem. If we tried to shift the burden over to the parents, then the first thing people would do is they would say, well, then it's partly the parents' fault, so I don't have to take these precautions, or at least I don't have to take as many precautions because the parents are partly to blame too. Courts say, nope, sorry, the burden's squarely on you. You're running a zoo with wild animals in it. You've got to do everything reasonable to keep children out and keep them from being injured. And if you don't do it, even if the parents aren't messing around, they're not doing what they should be doing, you're still going to lose that lawsuit. So that's a good question. Okay, I just offered Rob what I thought was a pretty good deal, $1 for his book bag, and he said no. Here's what we have in that situation. You know how much I love to draw things, so we'll go back to that again. Let's go to a new whiteboard. In any type of negotiation, we have a really basic situation. It's really simple, okay? We have somebody making an offer. So we're going to say, and I hate normally to use these terms, but we'll use them just briefly. We've got the offeror and we've got the offeree. This is probably the last time you're ever going to see these terms. I hate these terms because I can never keep straight who's the or, what's happening. Okay. In this case, though, we're going to make it real simple. We're going to say the offeror, me, and the offeree is Rob. Okay. Now I'm offering something. In this case, I'm offering $1. Okay. In any situation where you have a contract, this is true of any type of contract you can imagine. In order to have a legally binding contract, I'm giving up something for the chance of getting something. Okay. In this case, I'm giving up currency, $1, the value of $1, in exchange for getting the book bag. We'll put the book bag down here. And that's the basic of every kind of contract you can imagine. It doesn't matter if it's for a book bag or for a $10 million condominium or you're buying, 1,000 acres of prime real estate. It doesn't matter what you're buying. You're buying a ship, you're buying a car, you're buying whatever. You're giving up something to get something. The very first thing we need to point out about offers is that if you're not giving up something, then we don't have a contract. Okay? So the first thing you need to understand is both sides have to be giving up something to get something. If one side is not giving up something, then we don't have a valid contract. And let me just give you a real, just typical example, and you'll see why this works that way. A lot of times, when somebody's wanted by the police, they will say a $1,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of Mr. X. Okay. Well, how come police officers don't answer that ad and collect $1,000 because they're already obligated to arrest Mr. X. It's already their job. So they're not taking on any extra liability. They're not taking on any extra duties. That's actually their job. So if they find Mr. X, they can't collect $1,000. Now, if you go out of your way, do something that you didn't ordinarily have to do, or you find Mr. X and you make the phone call, you do something that you weren't already obligated to do, then you are entitled to the $1,000. So there it goes. Right off the bat, you have to understand that in any contract, somebody's giving up something to get something that they wouldn't ordinarily already have access to. Now, in law school, they always give you these examples, and these are real cases, but Granny comes to you and says, if you be a good boy and you stay in school, at the end of the school year, I'll pay you $100. Okay? You stay in school, end of the semester, you go to Granny and you say, Granny, I stayed in school. And Granny says, well, actually, you were legally obligated to stay in school. You can go to hell. I'm not paying you anything. And are you going to be able to win your lawsuit against Granny? Well, no. If you're in high school or whatever, you're actually legally obligated to go. And so you had to go anyway. So you're not going to get the $100. Now, let's change it. Granny says instead, you make straight A's at the end of the semester, I'll pay you $100. Now you do have a legally enforceable contract. Why? Because you did have to stay in school, but you didn't have to make A's. You went out of your way. You studied harder. You did whatever. You obligated yourself in a way that other people don't have to. Because after all, not everybody in school makes A's, and you're not legally obligated to make good grades. In fact, a lot of people I went to high school with barely got out of there alive. And so you worked harder, you took on extra work, you studied harder, you did the extra study time, you made straight A's. Do you have an enforceable contract? Well, yes, you do, because you gave up something, in this case your time, your effort, everything else, in order to get something at $100. And so in order to have any contract, we always have to have some detail where somebody's giving up something to get something. And if somebody isn't giving up something, we don't have a contract right off the bat, okay? Now, here's another example. You say to me, Mr. Bevans, I'll pay you $100 for recording my grade at the end of this semester. And I record your grade, whatever it is. And by the way, if any of you want to just go ahead and pay me $100 for your grade, that'd be fine with me. I'll be happy to. I can't accept the money, though. It would be nice. But I'm already obligated to do that. In fact, that's one of the things I have to do. And in fact, if I don't do it, I'll get into trouble. So the end of the semester comes, and I say, alrighty, Rob, I recorded your grade. I'll take that in 20s. And Rob says, go to hell. And I said, well, but Rob, wait, you said. And then Rob says to me, hey, you're the one who gave the lecture. You're the one who said if you were already obligated to do the thing that, we couldn't enforce the contract. And I'll probably say, damn it, he's right. Can't believe somebody actually paid attention in class. Damn it. I hate it when they do that. All right? I'm already obligated to do that. Okay. I'm not obligated, though, and Rob's not obligated to sell his book bag. So he doesn't have to sell his book bag. That's a decision he can make. Now, Rob could sell his book bag for $1 if he wanted to. He's not going to, apparently, because I keep suggesting it. He just keeps saying no. All right? So the first thing we have to establish in a contract is somebody's giving up something to get something. But there are some other preliminary things that we have to establish in order to have a valid contract, and that's where we get into the legal requirements. And I'm going to skip over acceptance for just a second because I want to get over onto page 150, and let's go back to the PowerPoint and explain what we're talking about here.